side of things, just bleh, spinning out a follower and just letting something happen.
Yeah. I'm still like, I want to be in the meeting. You know what I mean? Because everybody switches at the same time. It's crazy. It blows my mind that it doesn't matter if it's on the NA side or the EU side. Everybody drinks some kind of Kool-Aid, right? And then they all play the same decks. And I'm just like, huh, interesting.
I like this flavor. Give me more.
Another thing to think about, guys, in competitive play, if you're expecting to play against a lot of neutral decks, why would you play a neutral lineup? Why would you just want to jam neutral into neutral all day? Why not try to beat it instead? Something to think about.
If you can't beat it,
I guess that's fair. If you think it's too good, then you just have to play it. But yes, we get another chance to see this Chronos deck at work. I like the idea of it.
He kept the Shadow Reaper.
Yes, he did. On curve.
Yep. The Arnold Schwarzenegger of Shadowverse.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's not dead yet. He does get buffed, though, for sure.
Yeah, his workout routine is great.
He feeds on the souls of little monsters, little goblins and soul squashers.
Uses them as dumbbells and deadlifts.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, man. Without any kind of spell removal, too, in these first few turns. Yep. This is going to be dangerous.
Now, keeping the Shadow Reaper makes me think he's going to play it on 3, but that Pure-Hearted Singer, I think, is a better option now because
I think so.
There's no value to be gained.
Yeah, there's nothing that you're actually fighting back against, so the Shadow Reaper is just going to be a 1/1.
Yeah. Honestly, Shadow Reaper on the play against a Dragoncraft deck feels a little odd to me anyway because their usual response is to burn your first couple followers and then get into some ramp spells, and then Shadow Reaper just kind of sits in your hand. Even with this draw with nothing to trade into, makes Shadow Reaper a little bit clunkier.
I think Shadow Reaper on this turn makes sense. Or rather, on this coming turn.
It could, but it looks like he's going to burn. And then it's fine.
Pump.
It's fine. It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I'd still probably rather go with the Andrew Alphas play here first, though. Play out the Lurching Corpse. Get some card draw going.
You play the Andrew Alphas, you risk losing it before evolving.
It's true, but you stack up the board bigger for a Shadow Reaper. It is the highest. Yeah, maybe it is the highest cost target. Maybe you don't do that.
Yeah, because you can definitely Shadow Reaper here. It has ambush, so it will be unaffected. You Andrew Alphas and trade again, and then your Shadow Reaper can do some work.
We'll see. Even now, the Shadow Reaper, though, you have to trade your entire board to get full value out of it. I guess you could just Shadow Reaper and attack face and just hope, you know, that it works out for you.
That's true. Interesting.
Yeah, Sheepy definitely in the tank on this one. He had a plan in mind. I mean, he definitely kept it. He had a plan in mind for the card. We'll see, though.
I like... Does this Shadow Reaper have an extra long nose, or is that a hat? Or is that a skull mouth bird thing? Okay, yeah, it's a skull mouth bird. It's a
dead thing, Rainey. We're not supposed to know these things. Okay, they live in a different world than us. Okay.
What did I say it was initially? Now I can't see. Yeah, I can't see the face anymore. Yeah, it's the nose.
Yeah, these things live in a different realm from us. It might not even be something we know what it is.
It's not even a nose.
Yeah, it might not even be a nose. It might be his, like, you know, radar detector in the underworld, so he can find his way.
The Shadow Reaper is a tech warrior.
Looks like he did go with the tempo play, which means he won't have the Andrew Alphas for this turn. And again, this begs the question: why did he keep the Shadow Reaper if he didn't want to play it earlier? Maybe he feels like it's just a good option against Dragoncraft in general because it can play around Breath of the Salamander a little bit. So it might be for this turn.
If it is for this turn,
I kind of like it. You play the Shadow Reaper, you attack with the Lurching Corpse, then you Demon Eater the Lurching Corpse. Get some value that way.
That might be it.
Yep. Pure-Hearted Singer. I like this. Clear off the entire board, build up a big Shadow Reaper. Can't be dealt with. Draw some cards.
Demon Eater. Eat it.
Now, gone are the days where we see Shadow Reapers getting up to, you know, 10-10, 11-11, 12-12.
Double Shadow Reapers is really where the hilarity ensues.
Well, yeah, that was possible on turn 4 previously because it used to cost 2. Now it costs 3, thankfully. Yeah, that card was a little too good.
Yeah, I remember the Shadow Reapers were just ceilings. I think it was actually Less versus Jay-Z where that happened.
Definitely could have been. I mean, I've definitely had games like that where you're literally just like, okay, I'm going to spawn a bunch of 1-drops, then play 2 Shadow Reapers, and now I'm going to attack you for 16 on turn 5. Have fun.
Lots of fun.
Yeah, a lot more ways to sack back then, too, with soul conversion and things like that.
Ramped into the Chronos, but you are going to take 5 from the Shadow Reaper. 6.
6 at least, yep. A huge chunk. Chronos activates. We haven't seen this work yet.
Oh boy!
He's got the Dragoon!
If you don't wipe out the Chronos, you do 6, you take 8. It's not enough. It's not enough.
No, but the hand will refill. Another Dragoon might come out.
So you need to, that means you absolutely need to clear out the Shadow Reaper. And the fact that this Shadow Reaper is at 6/6 actually makes it kind of dangerous. You could just do some Lurching Corpse-ish thing, or you play the, you know, Bellinus.
There's a world where you can't actually kill the Shadow Reaper anymore.
He needs to evolve something big. Because if he removes this Chronos, and the Shadow Reaper gets over, actually just over 6, if it's 7 health or higher.
Well, the Imperial Dragoon can knock it down from 8, right? Because it won't get the buff because they all get damage at the same time.
Yeah. So that means, okay, so you'll still be able to actually reach the Shadow Reaper.
But if he can get it up to 9, he doesn't have another sack outlet in hand. So not possible. But the Lurching Corpse, best defense against all of these decks. It's so good against the neutral decks, good against Dragon. It's great stuff. But that means Imperial Dragoon will die and the card draw won't happen. So that makes it so much scarier.
Yeah, if only there was a Demon Eater.
But he has to play the Imperial Dragoon. It's the only way to actually deal with the Shadow Reaper.
Yep.
And he's at 5. Jeez.
Is there a PDK turn that does it? All right. I don't think there's a PDK play as well.
I don't see it.
Okay.
All right. Well, maybe he does.
Work that magic. Was it Isla?
Yeah, I don't.
Will ping.
What is he trying to do here?
1, 2. He at most only has 2 pings.
And he doesn't know what they're going to hit. It could take out the Lurching Corpse first.
Which would be disastrous.
It's very disastrous.
Disastrous Sheepy. SUKTAR does not want the disaster to happen.
All right, let's see what happens.
Care to touch?
Oh, oh.
Okay.
Care to touch?
Oh.
Okay. Skirting it.
No.
But it grows.
Oh, no.
But it grows.
2 steps forward, 1 step back.
I don't know what the game plan here was. I mean, I guess technically he has to hit it. He has to hit it. If he misses, this is not going to be good for him.
Care to touch?
No! No! It gains 1, loses 1.
That's it.
No!
You have angered me. You'll aim for the skies.
Am I missing something here? Well, tried to make it happen with Prime Dragon Keeper, and not so much.
I have a good rhyme.
Okay, let's hear it.
2 steps forward, 1 step back. Disastrous Sheepy, still attack.
Terrible. Terrible rhyme. Why did I listen to this? I should not have prompted you to give me this rhyme.
Don't worry, I'll think of better ones.
Okay.
I'll keep telling you that.
Please do. Terrible. All right. Now we've got Sheepy up next with his Runecraft deck. We don't know what type of Runecraft deck this is yet.
Oh, man.
And then
that, yeah.
We
haven't seen a Shadow Reaper in so long. That was just very cathartic.
It did so much work. And SUKTAR's gotten to top 6 with this Dragoncraft deck. It has won games. We know it has. It just hasn't had the chance yet.
Oh, no. Shadow Reaper just buffed up just enough to survive. 1 damage off.
It is Daria deck. So it looks like SHEEPY is running that. This is the type of lineup that I would run. You play a really nice Dragoncraft deck that gets banned out, or you play a really nice Daria deck that gets banned out. You get to play one of your broken decks, and then you just, I feel like mid-range Shadowcraft, where I said it was not the place to be in weeks past. With all these neutral decks running around, I feel like mid-range Shadowcraft is exactly the deck where you want to be on right now.
Yeah. Mid-range Shadow.
The ebb and flow, man.
The cycle of meta.
Daria in the opening hand for SHEEPY.
It's not the worst so far. He really is relying on the top deck spell.
He needs them, yes.
Yeah.
A Clark, of course, as always, would be the best top deck. And I actually feel with the hand that SUKTAR has here, he can keep pace with the hand that SHEEPY has very well. But of course, as we know, every top deck is something crazy. That's not a bad one.
Yeah, that'll help. Draws Chimera.
Oh,
got another concentration.
Interesting.
SHEEPY is getting real focused right now.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got to concentrate quite a bit here.
Yeah.
To employ his threats.
I've seen enough anime to know that if you spend the first half of the combat just focusing and concentrating, the latter half of the combat is going to be amazing for you.
That's usually how it works. You spend a couple episodes just chilling. You know what I mean? Screaming really loudly, powering up, and then all of a sudden.
Yeah. Warning, it could also increase your length of hair and dye it.
It's true, a different color.
A blonde color.
Yeah. Or different. We're on blue now.
You know, there's only a few source materials that I'm referencing here, but that's the hardest evidence that we have.
That's true.
Oh my god!
Wow. That is a hand. Okay, Clark, please. Insight into Clark.
As long as SUKTAR isn't actually... He's going to ramp 1 here. But it's not like the game is immediately ending on him, right?
No.
Which means that there's a potential for all these boosted followers to just...
The fact that he's gaining board control against Daria here is kind of worrying for me for SHEEPY. Jesus. SHEEPY!
No. This is not what we wanted to see.
Wow. I don't know. I feel like half of our viewers out there probably do want to see this. They want to see Daria die in a big bonfire, and this is definitely it.
All 3 of your Blade Mages. How many Chimeras are you running? 2?
Probably 3. I think they're all running 3. So that's probably the next draw.
Is the last Chimera?
Yeah. Or a second Daria, of course.
Oh, God. Oh,
I think SHEEPY literally fell out of his chair, and I don't know if he's gotten up yet. I think that's what's happening.
I don't know if he can get up from this. I wouldn't be surprised.
True that Chimera literally fell out of his chair, and now he's done.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would not be surprised if SHEEPY, if playing on computer, just press the escape button and click, and we'll click.
We've seen bad Daria
match.
draws. We have not seen this.
Yeah, this is a new one.
This is definitely new. Draw all your spell boost followers, no spells.
You have turns to play, right? You've boosted enough that you can play kind of an Ogler.
He's got some things he can do, yeah.
You definitely don't want to play the Daria. Like, that is just... You are throwing away the game if you play the Daria.
That is your deck right now that you're trying to Daria into in your hand.
Oh, no.
SHEEPY, we don't mean to laugh at you, okay? We're on the same field train you are. All you can do at this point is laugh at it.
This is how we deal with the pain and suffering that we're feeling for you right now. We can only laugh.
Wow. Lots of value out of these cards.
Ready to witness my true
But I mean, a hand like this, again, this is the type of hand that we saw yesterday, right? Not necessarily the same exact hand that we saw, but, you know, as long as you can get enough spell boost, you can still fill up the entire board.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. Okay. Yes. All good.
2 spells for 1. Mysterious Knowledge, so good.
This is all feeling nice and dandy.
So essentially the same thing as playing a Clark, except in this case you get to remove instead of playing a 2/3, which I think is better.
Better in this case. Worse in some cases.
Absolutely. Pretty sure that's how that works.
Okay, so he's got 0 costs, 3 costs, 2 costs, 6, 4, 4, 7.
Finally gets to play out more threats in a single turn than 2, which you'd like to do with Daria.
And this is almost like, to me, this is like the worst case of Daria, right? Where
This
it's
is.
like you can only play like 2 spell boosted followers a turn as opposed to 5.
Yeah,
you know?
as opposed to fill up the board or even more. We've seen turns where you play the entire board, you trade with a Blade Mage, you play more. You know what I mean? There are more spells that you can play in a single turn.
If you're playing Daria like this is manageable, and then you are out, right? Like you are spending all your resources here. After you play these followers one at a time, your opponent deals with them one at a time, and then you just can't handle the fact that now, for example, against Dragoncraft, you're going to be playing against Chronoses that are just...
This I feel like is not as scary a situation that I would normally think it is for Sheepy, though, because you're playing against a Dragoncraft deck that doesn't have those Israfils, doesn't have the Bahamut's, doesn't have that endgame that you normally play against with Dragoncraft, so you might have a little bit more breathing room.
I would agree with that, and doesn't have the Chronos yet, which is the heart of this deck.
Yeah, and playing an Imperial Dragoon without a Chronos feels pretty bad. Don't want to be doing that.
I feel like maybe given this scenario, Sybil is a turn.
Yeah, get yourself up to 10. You can play your Star Phoenix, play out the entire board, go back up to 20. Feels pretty good.
Yeah. You have angered.
However, without any card draw, it's not like the hand for SUKTAR is very good. It's not like he's got this endgame hand that's going to push pretty fast.
Yeah.
So Sheepy's got some time.
Oh,
what?
God.
Oh, what?
No.
Excuse me?
It did get worse. It did get worse for him.
All must come to an end.
Giant Chimera. It is Daria deck. Maybe this isn't a Daria deck. It is a Daria deck. He's got Daria.
It's got Daria.
What is this?
I mean, we've seen versions of Daria Chimera. I think Meow was talking to me about that deck a long time ago in the last expansion.
Yeah.
Where you just have this high roll where you land onto Daria and you just boost out things like Enchanted Blades and whatnot. And you boost out things like your Chimera.
I don't know, though. I mean, we've seen some Flame Destroyers. I think that's still a little greedy. Giant Chimera, that is super greedy. We can see it getting punished a little bit here.
We'll soar together.
Wow. Just uses a Salamander, which would normally, I think, be very high value against Daria. But just says, I'm just going to use this now.
But, like, again, it's not like SUKTAR's really putting together anything.
Yeah.
This is not scary.
And Sheepy's got to draw a bunch of boosts now.
Yeah.
There has to be.
There has to be. It's like the only thing left in his deck.
Yeah.
Unless like there's...
Oh, you
wow.
threw it all away!
Wow. What are you going to spell boost into? Oh, he does play Flame Destroyers, too. This is the greediest Daria deck I have ever seen. This is awesome. But he just threw away all the stuff that he could flood the board with, so I'm trying to figure out how he can actually come back now. He's got, what, one more Chimera in the deck?
Yeah.
Maybe 2. You know what? Maybe 2 more Flame Destroyers. Okay, maybe he's got them all. Playing the heaviest Daria deck of all time.
Chimera as well.
Yeah, maybe he's got another one of those too.
Yeah. What if we find out he only has like 4 spells in his deck?
Right? He's just like, you know what? I need to draw my Mysterianologist, need to draw my Clarks. If I don't, yikes. Yikes.
Everything else is just a spell boost follower.
Yeah. Silent Laboratory in a deck this heavy seems a little greedy as well. I know it works with concentration, but if you're not spell boosted in this deck, these draws can get pretty clunky.
Okay.
Spell boosting as much as he can here. Gets that Flame Destroyer down. And as slow as this turn was, it's still pretty effective against SUKTAR. Does draw into another Scyther, though.
Scythers will help. Still has another Sybil and has the Phoenix.
Let's see, if he does the Imperial Dragoon this turn, that's only 5 damage. Yeah, still not good enough, I don't believe, to pull the trigger right now.
Yeah, I think you wait on it. Just start doing this stuff. Yep.
Yep, and then he can play the Phoenix to clear out the board, push for 4. Now, I will say without Chrono, Star Phoenix is a pretty good card to basically just get card advantage back over time to work with Imperial Dragoon. You know, if you need to play it in a pinch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think SHEEPY has any chance.
Oh gosh.
He threw away all of his followers.
Yeah. He did. He did do that. And the Clarks come down for tempo and no boost. I mean, I guess his Wind Blast is getting boosted. No, it's not even getting boosted. It only boosts followers.
No. Now I think it's Imperial Dragoon time. You Imperial Dragoon this board. You smash. He only has one card in hand. He probably won't be that risky. That's what I would do. I'm a crazy man, though.
Do it.
I don't see why not. You basically just tempo the entire board. You install 5/5. You get to attack for a total of, let's see, 3/7 this turn. And you have lethal set up next turn with your opponent with one card in hand. Feels good to me. What are they going to play, Daria? I don't care. I don't care. I'm at 20, son.
At 20? What a game for SHEEPY.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I feel like it's a symptom of his deck, too. I don't think it's just the draw. He's got a very heavy Daria deck. All right, he's not going to be as greedy as I would be. Does that mean he's going to trade with the board as opposed to going face here? I mean, I guess so.
All right. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, he can clear up most of this board. He can install Sybil. Still a pretty good turn.
Goes face. Play the Sybil.
And again, I don't even know what SHEEPY can draw at this point to get him back into this game. I mean, a Daria is not even going to be good enough because there's nothing to Daria into.
Oh.
All must come to an end.
Sybil's gone.
Yeah. 10 damage.
And I know a lot of players out there that are watching right now that have played Daria know that Daria can get into the situation where it's just top deck, crappy follower, top deck, crappy follower. It's like, okay, got to try to win this, but pretty tough.
Getting the Chronos on this Oracle. I can feel it.
Doesn't even need it at this point. Star Phoenix value with just random spells is good enough to finish this game out. That Imperial Dragoon will basically take over whatever turn that SHEEPY wants to come back on.
How interesting.
I need myself an animated Star Phoenix. It's like that perfect one of that you need animated in your deck.
Yeah, it's super cool. Star Phoenix is a great card. The value you get from it over and over, it's like a upgraded carrot.
Mm-hmm. Because it has rush.
Again? I mean,
turn. Just do it.
What is the KDA of this Star Phoenix?
Right?
I mean, it's pretty bad. It's even. Right? It's traded with a bunch of stuff.
That's true. However, it's still alive, and nothing else can come back.
That's
so
true.
It's playing it's playing its own game.
Yeah.
Playtime is over.
Where it can respawn. In real life, Rainy, you know you can't respawn. But Star Phoenix, it can.
I'm waiting for the day that we can do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. SHEEPY is just
yeah,
nothing helpful.
Yeah, again, I don't think there's anything he can do. I mean, he's got card draw. I mean, he has other Darias in his deck, but the Darias aren't going to do anything.
Yeah.
Kind of grasping at straws here.
What? I guess you kind of just have to play.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you play all your things. Deal with the board in such a way that you can. Maybe he holds the ward to protect a bigger follower, like a Chimera. He does have one Chimera left at least. He might have Flame Destroyers. Nope.
Styrian Circle.
Just going to go with the board here. This will prompt yet another Star Phoenix to come back.
Fervor. Oracle.
Phoenix into Oracle. Infinite
This is the
Phoenix works.
slowest Dragoncraft game we've seen in such a long time.
It doesn't have the finishers. It doesn't have the normal finishers that the Dragoncraft decks normally do. And honestly, you don't even want to play Chronos in this situation.
Yeah.
Why give your opponent any chances to claw their way back into this game?
Oh my god.
And if you're wondering why these players aren't scooping up, conceding, it's because This is the last week.
Yeah?
They need these points. This is super important. They're going to take every single chance they can to try to win these games.
How does this happen?
There's no options. No Chronos early. No Prime Dragon Keepers drawn the entire game. All right,
okay.
I'm pretty sure this will be it. This will be
closing out.
Pure Dragoon will end the game next turn.
Yes, the Magic Owl.
There we go. All right.
Wow.
So now, Daria versus mid-range Shadowcraft.
Okay, Daria, round 2. That was probably the lowest end of that bell curve.
I'm pretty sure it was the lowest end of the bell curve for both of those decks. I don't think either of those decks were performing the way they wanted to.
Oh, geez.
I mean, how did he win that game, right? With a bunch of random 1-1s and 2-2s. Like, there wasn't anything crazy going on.
There's nothing big. Nothing big
I'm
at
still
all.
super surprised that SHEEPY threw away his entire hand. I literally think that cost him any chance he had at that game. I still feel like at any point, knowing what SUKTAR did that entire time, he could have just spell boosted on a single turn, filled up the board 2 times in a row, then played Daria and still won that game.
Let me take you to the underworld.
Alright, the Shadowcraft deck is up to bat for SUKTAR.
Let's see what SHEEPY does with his hand. I imagine he keeps the Silent Lab if he's got the Golem Assault, but then again, without Daria in hand, I mean, is that really what you want to be starting with?
Yeah, I think you kind of mulligan all 3 of them, honestly.
I'm still very vehemently opposed to Silent Laboratory and 3 concentrations in Daria, but I'm less okay with Silent Laboratory. You know, 3 concentrations is fine. It's card draw. It helps you get to your Daria. Silent Laboratories I still can't get behind. I know it helps a few cards in your deck, but I feel like it hurts you more without spell boosting. Especially if you play cards like Windblast in your deck, right?
Yeah.
Just doesn't do anything for him.
So doesn't get the Daria, doesn't mulligan either. He mulligans 1 card. There it is. But now it's a question of getting the boost. You're on the play, so Magic Owl is delayed a bit.
The Daria freshly drawn off the top was a huge step for SHEEPY, though. Definitely needed something like that with that hand. I feel like Lurching Corp's pretty easy play here. Kind of side skirts things. You know they want to play wards. You know what I mean?
They want to play wards. Yeah.
And I feel like Soul Squasher, finally, in this matchup, it's probably at its best because it's one of the only ways you can use to deal with multiple big followers in the same turn.
Yeah.
I don't think you want to give that away by any means.
Yeah. Removal for 2 is so helpful because you can play the Soul Squasher and then evolve something else. Or even get multiple 2-for-1s, you know, if you Soul Squasher and Lyrial in certain cases.
Yep. And this is a perfect read. Like, you know, when your opponent plays a Silent Laboratory, especially in a Daria deck, you're like, why did they do that? They did that for concentration. They did that for Golem Assault. Let's play around the Golem Assault. Use your turn to do that, and I'll just pop it.
Lurching Corpse is so annoying.
It is annoying. It's a lot better than it used to be. Before, it was all about controlling the board because things were hitting you so hard and so fast.
Yeah.
That you might not even have time to Lurching Corpse. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, think about Lurching Corpse in context of something like mid or aggro mid sword, right?
Right.
That was kind of how it felt.
Yeah,
it
just
put down the
doesn't do
Lurching
anything.
Corpse, and then mid sword's like, oh great,
cool. Yeah.
Let me just keep hitting you in the face.
You just played a follower that doesn't do anything. Great.
And then the Lurching Corpse does its best impression of trying to hit face.
Yeah.
And mid sword just kind of laughs a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then takes a tree trunk and applies some facial reconstruction.
I mean, you're not really that afraid of a Lurching Corpse, right? It's kind of like in the zombie shows, you know? Like, if they walk really slow and they just moan really loud, like, they're really easy to detect.
It's pretty scary.
You can walk away from them.
If you were asleep and Lurching Corpse got real close...
Well, that's different.
Then that's super scary, right?
That's way different.
Look at the thing.
I'm talking about in the broad daylight. Just walking up to you, moaning really loud and going really slow.
It depends on how long it's going to do that.
Forever. That's what they do.
Then that's very scary.
No, you just...
When do you rest?
You put it in a cage.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you can do that.
And then you make fun of it. you yell profanities at it all day.
Do you think it understands? What if you hurt its feelings?
No, of course it doesn't understand. That's the fun.
It probably will learn to understand.
Good. Good. All right, so it looks like Sheepy's going to go with the board control route here instead of pushing face damage here. Probably a smart play against Shadowcraft right before Prince Catacomb turn.
Yeah.
And does not play into the Lurching Corpse by playing out the ward. Very nice. That is a Mist of Extinction. So there is an anti-Daria card in the hand for SUKTAR now, so has an option.
Yeah, we saw that Mist of Extinction at the start of the day. Mist of Extinction.
I feel like a very underutilized card now, especially if you plan on playing against Daria. Now, if you plan on banning it every time, you definitely don't play it. But if you plan on not banning it, banning out Dragoncraft instead, definitely a good card to have in your deck as an option.
Yeah. Board-wide effects, always very, very great. Lyriel doing more work. Doing what Lyriel do.
And this is a tough call. We said we didn't want to play the Soul Squasher early, but the tempo looks very appealing. Yeah, looks like he's going to pass on the option, though.
Yeah, I think Soul Squasher is very, very nice. I mean, almost anything, if it's an Ogler, if it's Daria, if it's a Chimera, you know, evolved, it's a lot of stats. Having the Soul Squasher be able to handle that and being able to take your mind off of one follower in such a cheap fashion, that's exactly what you need to deal with a board, a wide board, as best you can.
Yeah, it does give you an option before Mist of Extinction to actually deal with, a few followers, which is nice.
And Mist of Extinction is 4 and below, right?
It is. 4 defense and below.
Yeah. So once they evolve, that could be the one card that actually remains.
Should be taking his time with this turn. I feel like setting up a defensive play here. He might want to save...
So his Daria's up to 5.
Daria. Yeah.
Ogler is at 5. Has the Owl.
I think he's going to go for the Owl play here. Now, I can see an Owl, Guardian, plus Daria. Seems pretty good. I feel like that's the best way to use Guardian in the Daria deck. It was the same as the old Summon Ice Form trick, essentially. You play the Summon Ice Form, you play your entire threat line behind it so it's defended, and it feels pretty nice.
Yeah. I almost wonder if you should have just removed the Lurching Corpse before any of that.
Possibility after
just
attacking
throw your Clark into Lurching Corpse.
Yeah.
And then you play your Owl and do whatever you were going to do to the skeleton.
Might have been a stickier board, especially when you know something like Lyriel's coming back. Then again, there's also Saris as an option for SUKTAR as well.
That's right. Next turn is going to be big for Sheepy.
Yep, has the Daria. Basically wanted to get all the value out of his hand that he possibly could. Very unlike last game. Wanted to extract everything out of this one. And I feel like that's going to hurt him because of the Mist of Extinction. I feel like the longer he goes with this, the better and better Mist of Extinction gets. Of course, it's only a one-of in SUKTAR's deck, but, you know.
Yeah, he has it.
Yep, he does have it. Feel like you unload this turn, much harder to deal with. This could be an Aisha play. That's another way to deal with the big board here, but it looks like he's going to go with the Prince Catacomb.
All right.
Pops. Pretty good pop.
Yeah. Hitting the 4/4 is nice.
I like this.
Interesting.
Most of the
yeah.
board.
Goes through the ping on the follower. Can't quite remove it now, but saves it for a later day. Okay, I think you can ignore that.
Well, you can still play it before the Daria if you want to. I kind of like it. Uses up all your play points, but again, it would protect your board. Ooh.
Ooh, lands a Blade Mage.
Not a bad redraw.
And the Chimera, too, is getting buffed up.
I still find that very interesting. I mean, that is bigger, you know what I mean? But in my experience, if your Chimera is not huge, it can't really do all that much. I mean, it could be really good just as a board wipe, too. Nice little tempo play.
Is it boosted 6 now?
Yep, boosted 6.
Yep. Oh, look at that text. Woo!
Basically what it says, guys, if you're not familiar with this card, is it spell boost. It starts at 0. It goes up by 1 every single time you play a spell. And it deals 1 damage, basically divided for how much damage that it has to everything in play and to the opposing leader.
It just
but it has to hit followers first.
Starts from left to right and just starts
machine gunning things.
Yep. Taking down the followers. As much health as the follower has, it shoots.
So like right now, if he was going to play it this turn, if it had, say, 4 spell boosts on it, it would break apart all 3 of these followers and then send the rest of it face. 1 1 1 1.
0 1 0 1.
It's not binary.
It's not binary, yeah. It happens. All right.
This is the turn before Mist of Extinction, too, so it's a really good turn for Sheepy here. I feel like still pretty easy to deal with this board, though.
I think this is manageable. You still have an Evolution Orb. You still have a Ceres.
Yeah, you can go Soul Squasher. You can evolve the Ceres. Trade with most of this board. And then you've got to follow up Mist. Now, Mist not so needed, actually, with the hand that Sheepy has. I mean, Sheepy might transition into this Giant Chimera endgame after the first Daria here. The other thing that's
totally fine.
The other thing that's weird about Giant Chimera to me too is if you want a Daria chain, what happens when it shows up in the middle of your Daria chains, right? You just throw it away, like
you abandon the Daria plan.
You're playing this option that if it so happens to be the last thing that you chain into, it's an okay option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it is providing a good alternative for Sheepy right now. Wow. Okay.
Cashing in Aisha.
Ogler and the Daria.
Yep, looking like it. Then you can trade into the evolved Clark here, or the Blade Mage, and get 1 damage in. I think taking the extra 2 damage is a pretty big risk. Pretty big risk, especially knowing what Sheepy has. I mean, he knows that Sheepy does have Giant Chimera as an option.
Yeah.
Taking extra 2 damage against Daria in general is bad, but
I don't know if SUKTAR can end the game in 2 turns. He's going to need to flood the board with a bunch of more defended followers.
You know what card we haven't seen in Sheepy's lists, and I think it's probably not in here, is Piercing Rune.
Yeah.
It's a card that I've seen lacking in his list so far.
Yeah, Piercing Rune has been so big in almost every single rune list we've seen come across.
And I don't like this endgame for SUKTAR.
Yeah, Sheepy's gonna have this in 2 turns.
Yeah, I mean there's
a lot of boosts in hand.
About it. Yeah, a lot of boosts, more wards, more removal. Got another Daria if he does want to go that route. Yeah, I think Sheepy's plan is just to go big follower Daria, right? No enchanted swords, no piercing runes, just big followers and a couple spells here and there.
Well, SUKTAR needed to think about his turns for quite a while.
I mean, honestly, his best option, and I don't know why he hasn't played it yet, is get that Ceres out there so that he can start healing. Unfortunately, it might be too late now that all the evolution orbs are gone.
Yeah, you're right. Installing the Ceres early on just provides you this constant source.
Without any evolution points, period, there's just not a lot of options. He's got the Soul Squash, that's about it.
Yeah.
How interesting.
Here we go.
So, I don't know. He can't outpace the Chimera, but maybe combine the healing with defense on board, he will be able to.
Yeah, the problem is he doesn't have any defense in hand. And he's only going to be able to heal 2 because that Wind Blast is going to be pointed right at that Ceres. And he can kind of just clear the board this turn.
Oh, the Clay Golem. Plus the Mysterian Circle. Yeah. I think this is the end of the road.
Yeah, I mean, you just missile down the Soul Squash or attack for 2. And that Giant Chimera is definitely above 6.
Here
that
comes,
much.
Yeah. I would estimate, okay, my estimation is Giant Chimera is at 15.
I'm going to go with 11.
Okay.
Okay.
15 and 11.
And that's provided he doesn't play anything else, which he won't. Because he's on 9 play points next turn.
Okay. How much did he play? 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's a good turn. It's not going to be enough, though.
Yeah.
Definitely more than 6.
It might be 13. It might exactly be 13.
Going 11. 11. So that means it's going to be a 1 and 10.
Oh, it's 19.
19?
Oh,
wow.
my god.
Okay, geez, we were both way off.
That thing got pumped.
Yeah, that was pretty massive.
Yeah, he played. Oh, I guess he had knowledge. He had 2 knowledges.
He had the
circle, missile, 2 Clarks. I mean, the 2 Clarks are already, what, like 4?
Yeah.
So that already puts it up to 10.
In any case, I feel like SUKTAR's decks just didn't plan out the way. I mean, they didn't pan out the way he wanted them to. I mean, they both just kind of fizzled on him. SHEEPY didn't do anything.